Thank you, thank you. So, the second day, you're a bit tired, and now's the time for tortures with numbers in my presentation. So, please sit, don't go out. All my presentation have 2 words for big websites. So, everything about big websites, I assume like 100K pages and more. So, I'm not an SEO guy, unfortunately. I'm a developer, but all my, how much, about like for many years of experience, I was near SEO, like they sitting near me. And I believe it gives me the opportunity to understand both worlds, how SEO thinks, how developer thinks. And during the building of Jet Octopus, like tech SEO platform, the 2 biggest headache what I had, it's JavaScript crawler and Google Search Console integration. And I will tell you why. So we love GSC, right? It's #1 tool, Aleida shows us in research, and it's particularly like holy grail. And if Indiana Jones will be in SEO world, he for sure stole Google Search Console from us. So, but in the beginning, let's zoom out a little bit from like particular Google Search Console and take a look what we have as the data for our technical SEO. It's like 3 pillars of our data source. It should be 4th pillar as well, with conversion, with user traction, etc., etc. GA4, but everybody hates it, and I decided to not put it here. So just 3 pillars of technical SEO data. Okay. So what crawl is actually? Crawl gives us site structure. Okay. So the next step after crawl, we have logs with crawl budget, right? So how Googlebot perceives our website. And the third part is Google Search Console. It's one of the main things here, because it goes like a funnel, let's say. So in crawl, we have all our factors with internal linking, how like in logs, our crawl budget, what's crawl, what not, and of course, page impression. How connects all those things between together? It's the factors, first of all. So how your internal linking impact your crawl budget, what crawls, what not. How your crawl budget impacts on your rankings as well. Does it mean, so when your crawl budget increase, your traffic increase? Is it true? Maybe yes, maybe no, sometimes no, completely. And again, like what we talked like yesterday, it was in presentation, like talking with your C-level is like crucial things, and with your technical team, with many stakeholders. So 3 data sets gives us opportunity to like draw a simple chart from creation of page on a website till the end, getting organic clicks, our most important metric, like mostly most important metric in the end. So it is. When we say in Google Search Console, your first picture in mind like this. So it's what Search Console like exactly. We all know it, it's very cool, a lot of features. But when we talk about big websites, our Google Search Console is this. So we have API, and we have to use it because we know like an interface only thousands of lines in export, etc. And if you compare, like get view on the list of methods, what we have here, site analytics, sitemap sites, URL inspection, that's it. It's no scroll here. It's basically all API what we have, like nothing particular. We have what we have. And like maybe if Google heard us, so please like gives us more methods and API, we will be very like thankful for you. But anyway, we need only one method, but like in this case, like URL inspection is as well very fine, but for our analytics needs, we need only one method query. So the signature of a method has like a few fields. We will not go. You check the documentation. We have important parameters and additional parameters. So I believe even without my description, you realize that what they do. Start date, end date, and dimensions. It's like the basic thing, what you can do with them like 90% of your job. One of the Another very interesting parameter is aggregation type. Pay special attention to it. It's how it will return your impressions. Like a few words here. If your website has like it's 2 times on a SERP, if aggregation type by property, you will have only 1 impression. If aggregation type by page, you will have 2 impressions, because it's like literally it was 2 times on SERP page, even simultaneously. And type, it's like search, Google News, etc. So what we have as the results, 4 fields that everybody knows and understands and loves, I believe. Okay, so now is the time to make our first query. I hope you're ready. So we, like for the previous months, for September, let's just pull the data from 1st of September till 30th of September. Without any dimension, just, you know, the simplest thing what we can do, okay? And we get the results. I like store it as an Excel file, so extremely understandable, nothing fancy here. One of key if you want to have a key takeaway from my whole presentation, here it is. So by working with any type of data source, don't trust it. Don't trust it. Even don't trust, you know, to me or wherever. Like critical thinking is one of important, you know, thinking our, I don't know, nowadays, let's say. Let's verify it. So how we can be sure? So, okay. We have our table, and we have screenshot from Google Search Console, like extremely correct. Awesome, nice. Okay, but looking on this data, what we can do with it? We already have it in Google Search Console just for reporting, right? Since we are doing technical SEO, we need URL, a URL of a page. So we'll make our second query. We're adding into dimension a page. So as a result, we have the same Excel, but with 1 more column URL. So what does it mean? We have URL, and for each URL, the data. And we have to verify it. So what's inside? Let's scroll down, okay? So it's one of the most simplest action what we can do. We scroll down, and if you don't see from the last rows, we have about 14K of rows, of pages, like, and indexed pages almost 19 millions. So do we have, I don't know, what type of website can produce, you know, every page, how many impressions it will has? So do we need, did we do some mistake in our query? But no, it was very simple. So what's the conclusion? Google lies to us, isn't it? Okay, so the next thing, what we wanted to work, usually it's a query from Google Search Console. Again, we just adding just 1 parameter to our dimension. So after page, we add in query. As a result, we have URL, and now we have query. You can clearly see here the branding traffic, like branded queries in the like top of impressions. You can clearly see with low CTRs by branded queries, it's PPC going on. So PPC simply taking all clicks for your branding queries, and you simply like throw money out of the window. Oh, it's a SEO conference, I can say this way, okay? So again, time to verify it. We scroll down, and we have 444K rows. So it's not pages right now, because every row, it's a page plus query, okay? So how many URLs we have here? Someone has an idea, like 50K, 100K, who gives more? 9,000. Like 260K URLs. It's the same website, by the way. I didn't change the website. So we're talking about the same website, same property, everything's the same. So how many URLs has been ranked in September? Again, it's Google Search Console. It's not third-party tool, you know? What's going on here? And let's make a table, like to sum up, to have understanding. So we have number of URLs, and the next thing what we wanted to verify is the number of impressions and clicks, our most required parameters. Again, a lot of numbers. Here I promised it will be a lot of numbers, but let's make it in percentage view. By the total dimension, it's like 100%, and now we are going by URL, by query. And you already see where our data, Google gives us a data. So in particular for impressions in the dimension URL query, 26% from the whole data. And the question what you have in mind right now, why? Why it's going on? And of course, like 10% of queries. And examples of other websites, the number depending of a niche, but the bigger the website is, the less data you have. It's like golden rule how Google Search Console works. And why does it work? Again, I'm forgetting like slides. Let's make things worse. You, for example, want to have different distinct numbers for mobile devices and for desktop devices and tablet. So you make a separate queries for give me the data for mobiles plus tablet and give me the data for desktops. Okay, you sum up, and you have to have like the total amounts like the same, but they're not. You will have cases when URL has an impressions for mobile devices, 0 impressions for desktop, and 0 total. Why? Why? And you will have the cases like, for example, like 15 impressions total, 20 for mobiles, 10 desktops. Again, why? The same thing when so we load the data by months, but you wanted to have data like on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. You started loading data on daily basis, and you have completely different numbers for the whole month. So if it's some random function inside, I don't know how does it work, this API. And why it happens, of course, as Non said before, anonymized queries. It's very, for me as a developer, it's very interesting term. So a traffic comes to our website. We have IP address. We have like control with JavaScript. We can have browser footprints, like other data source, and we can de-anonymize. In the end, user can register on our website and to buy, in our on our online shop things. But Google doesn't want to give us the data. Some anonymization issues. But okay, even it's some reason which I can imagine. Why doesn't return data for pages? Do we have anonymized pages as well? So what happens? So if you analyze your top pages, which has like thousands or millions impressions like per month, per day, wherever, you're safe. So the data will be safe, the data will be correct. We verify it many times, different ways. But the biggest problem is with long tail pages, like long, low frequency queries, which technical SEO loves particularly because it's very easy, like field to produce the results of your technical optimization, like internal linking, wherever. It's like #1 key point what can grow by action on technical SEO. And it was a bad news before, okay? And now time for bad news again. It will be no good news here. So it doesn't exist, unfortunately, like complete solution. It will be like hacks, semi-solutions, let's say. And the #1, what you can do, it's subfolders. You probably know it. The idea is you may have like your main property, like it could be the main property, like wherever, and you started to add in your subfolders what you have on your website. I hope you have subfolders and you don't have completely flat structure on your URLs. If you have them, okay, like maybe next time, next project. 1,000 properties you can add in your Google Search account, Search Console account. Do you think it's a lot? Trust me, no. We have clients with a few Google Search, like few Google accounts. And 1,000 properties, it's really okay when we're talking about size. So don't think you have to add just 5 subfolders. Okay, so it's the cons of this way. It's very easy to do. So like guys with laptops, just open Google Search Console right now, like click add property, and you know your like top subfolders, your top categories like blog, shop, whatever what you have on your particular website. Simply copy it from your browser URL address and add it as a URL prefix in your Google Search Console. It will be already verified, and it's just one-click action basically. The problem is the data will be started to collect it right from the moment you add them. So that's why I'm talking like do it right now, do it tomorrow, like day after tomorrow, and forget about that. Like for a month, for 2, so the same as bulk exports, the data should accumulate here. And the next issue working with subfolders, it's the working with the data. So after a month, you remember, so you added hundreds of subfolders, and now time to put our hands on the data. But if you see on our main property, GSC property 1, we have like a shop subfolder already, and we added shop subfolder. So what does it mean? Shop subfolder, it's presented in our 2 GSC properties. And if you simply combine the data, it will make your data duplication. So you will have 2 times more impressions, etc. So it's not simply merge all the data what you have. So the proper solution, you have to remove subfolder data from the main property, or simply work like within your subfolder. It will be like easy to start. So if you have some SEO tool, usually they do in merging the subfolders data. If you wanted to merge it by yourself, please not make it with AI. Please not make it, because again, I like my hair changing color because of subfolder merging as well. It's really because you can add also subfolders. So you have to make 3-way like data deduplication. And it's very easy way to make things way worse after that. Let's check an example of our results, what we did, with subfolders. So it's another website, and here, if I'm not mistaken, about hundreds of subfolders added. So in the main property, we have just 80,000 pages, right? And after we added subfolders, now more than 4 million pages. Like amazing, like growing impressions, like amount of clicks. It's a huge increase. I wish we had 50 times more in our traffic increase, not in pages. But anyway, like look how cool now it become, right? So why I didn't say like good news? We don't have good news. Let's make the table again. It's again 10%, 18%. So, but it's on it's a very big website, one of the like top in US. But in the results, a key takeaway, like working with Google Search Console and the data with API, we can't make it better. We can't make it ideal. We have what we have here, and the thing is, we have to understand how to deal with this flows of instruments, what we have, with data source, what we have. The world is not ideal, and data as well. So what does it mean by working especially with long tail queries? So because some SEO, for example, like talking about like pruning content, like removing old content, and by using data from GSC, it's very easy. Just let's have a pages which had like only 1 impression during the whole last year, and remove them. Like very easy, right? But in the reality, they can have not only 1 impression, they can have 100 impressions, 1,000 impressions, but you simply don't have all the data. So keep this in mind, like all time when you're working with API, so maybe you see only like part of the whole picture, and don't make fast, conclusions like, is it going that way or other way? And you may ask me, like, why I'm talking about API, not about GSC bulk data export. And bulk data export, we have it about 2 years right now, and I was excited when it was released. I like almost was ready, start to develop integration in JetOctopus with bulk export. I just waited some big client, come to us like, okay, we wanted to use our bulk export. I'm still waiting. 2 years passed, I'm still waiting. Who wants to integrate bulk data export in JetOctopus, like wherever? The problem is API is very convenient. It's very easy to start. There are a lot of like integration with Looker Studio, a lot of tools like your own scripts. It's very easy to start. Bulk data export is very cool technology. I like no complaints here. But again, it's not easy to integrate. And when we're talking again with enterprise websites, all the security issues like configuring the Google buckets, etc. We had an experience when we waited just simple access. I am as a person, I asked for access to Google Search Console. And I waited 2 months after security team will review my application and they will add to their Google Search Console, me as a person. And now we are talking about bulk data export. So it's really cool technology, but again, API is simple. We understand it. It's a lot of materials. It's a lot of tools what based on GSC API. And that's what we have. And so no flaws of API, and I wish you the best. Thanks for your attention.